Good morning. Today we will start chemistry. The chapter is chemical reaction and equation. Here, now you should know what is chemical reaction. In an atom, if the electron participate in the reaction, such type of reaction is called chemical reaction. Chemical reaction. Is it clear? Now, so this is an atom. Can you see the nucleus here? The nucleus, proton and neutron are attached. This is proton. This is neutron. And electron revolves around. This is electron. Okay. In chemical reaction, if electron participate in the reaction, such a reaction is called chemical reaction. Is it clear now? In an atom, if neutron participate in the reaction, such reactions are called nuclear reactions. Nuclear reaction. Clear? Now, there are two types of changes seen in this reaction. Physical change chemical change. Now, in physical change, what is the definition of physical change? No new substance is formed. No new substance is formed. Example, melting of ice. Melting of ice. It's clear? The ice is melting of ice. Ice melts. Again, you can bring it back to ice. Correct? Now, in chemical change, new substance is formed. Substance is formed. Example, burning of paper. Burning of paper. Is it clear? If you burn the paper, the white paper, if you burn the paper, it becomes black. Correct? So, new substance is formed. Is it clear? Now, based on the energy, there are two types of reactions. Exothermic reaction, endothermic reaction, reaction. Is it clear? Exo, exit. What is exo means? Exit. So, the energy is exit out. That means the energy is given out during the reaction. Now, in exothermic reaction, for example, carbon plus oxygen gives rise to carbon dioxide. Okay, this is our respiration. Okay, heat is given out. Okay, now endothermic reaction. Enter. What is endo means what? Enter. So the heat is absorbed in a reaction, if the heat is observed, this reaction is called endothermic reaction. Example, photosynthesis. Is it clear? So you know the difference between exothermic reaction and endothermic reaction. Exo means exert, that means the heat is given off to the surrounding. Here endothermic reaction, the heat is taken from the surrounding. Is it clear now? Now we will come across the types of chemical reaction. What are the types of chemical reaction? Types of chemical reaction. There are let us see one by one. First one is chemical combination. Second one, chemical decomposition. Third one, chemical displacement. Fourth one, chemical double decomposition. Next one, a redox reaction. Precipitation reaction. Neutralization reaction. Okay, see how many types are there? Combination, chemical combination reaction, chemical decomposition reaction, chemical displacement reaction, chemical double displacement reaction or double decomposition reaction, redox reaction, precipitation reaction and neutralization reaction. Let us come to each one and define them and write one example of this. Now, I will not rub this. Let me see this now. What is chemical combination reaction? Chemical combination reaction. In chemical combination reaction, that means I will give you the definition. In chemical combination reaction is a type of chemical reaction in which two reactant combine to form single product. Single product. Is it clear? What is chemical combination reaction? In a chemical combination reaction is a type of chemical reaction in which two reactants combine to form a single product. Let us see an example here. Example I will take. Example, carbon plus oxygen gives rise to carbon dioxide. So, two reactants, one product, single product. Is it clear now? You can take more than that. Sulfur plus oxygen gives rise to sulfur dioxide. H2 plus O2 gives rise to 2H2O. Okay. So, these are the examples for chemical combination reaction. Is it clear now? Now, let us go to chemical decomposition reaction. Shall I write this now? Okay. Chemical decomposition reaction. Chemical decomposition reaction chemical decomposition reaction. In chemical decomposition reaction, is a type of chemical reaction in which in which single reactant decomposes to two or more substances. Clear? What is chemical decomposition reaction? In a chemical decomposition reaction is a type of chemical reaction. See, I am not rubbing the definition as such. I am just changing small thing there, in which single reactant decomposes to form two or more substance. I will take an example here. Example: calcium carbonate on heating. What is this triangle results? This indicates heating. Calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. That means what? What is this aroma? Escapes. It's a gas that escapes. Okay. Now, single reactant gives rise to two product. Is it clear? Two or more product. In this case, it's two product. Is it clear? So, chemical decomposition is a type of chemical reaction in which single reactant decomposes to form two or more substance. Okay. Now, let us see the different types of decomposition reaction. There are three types of decomposition reaction. What is that? We will see. Three types of decomposition reaction. They are thermal decomposition reaction, The second one, photolytic decomposition reaction. Next, electrolytic decomposition reaction. Is it clear? There are three types. Let us see what is that. We will take one example under this. Thermal decomposition. It requires heat. Okay. Shall I take examples here one by one? Thermal decomposition reaction. Example: calcium carbonate. Heat is required. To decompose this. Here, calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. Thermal decomposition. Thermal means for temperature. So, heat is required to break this. Okay. Next, photolytic. Next example is photolytic. Okay. Shall I write here itself? I think there is a place here. Calcium oxide, calcium carbonate gives rise to calcium oxide plus carbon dioxide. Okay. Now, photolytic decomposition. AgCl, silver chloride, gives rise to Ag plus Cl2. Ag plus Cl2. Is it clear? Now it's not balanced, I balance it. Clear? Silver chloride on sunlight. Light. Photolight means sunlight. Okay. Using sunlight, it breaks down into Ag plus Cl2. Silver bromide, AgBr2. AgBr gives rise to Ag plus Br2. Okay, this is the second example. Now, we'll go to electrolytic decomposition. Electrolysis. This is called as electrolysis. In electrolytic decomposition, water H2O breaks down to H2 plus O2. Okay, see it is balanced. H2 plus O2. Okay. 2H2. So 4, 2H2. Is it clear? It's balanced. Now that means in chemical decomposition there are three types: thermal decomposition reaction, photolytic decomposition reaction, that is also called as light reaction, and electrolytic decomposition reaction, where it's also called as electrolysis. Okay, where water getting decomposed. Is it clear? Now, let us go for displacement reaction. Is it clear now? What is displacement reaction? Chemical displacement reaction. Chemical displacement reaction. In chemical displacement reaction is a type of chemical reaction. Same thing you can write. Chemical displacement reaction is a type of chemical reaction in which, see, I am not changing the definition, in which more reactive element displaces less reactive element from the compound. That means, shall we take an example? More reactive element replaces less reactive element from the compound. Let me take an example here. Iron reacts with copper sulfate. Here, iron is more reactive than copper. So copper will come out, iron will be in here. That means ferrous sulfate plus copper. See this atom of that means dissolves. Okay. Now you can see here in the solution, that means iron is more reactive than copper. So iron replaces copper from the compound. So that's what here. See the reaction here, chemical reaction. Chemical displacement reaction is a type of chemical reaction in which more reactive, iron is more reactive element displaces less reactive element from the compound. Is it clear now? There is an example here. You can take zinc also, zinc and copper sulfate. Okay, there are many examples given in the book also. Now let us go to chemical double decomposition reaction. Okay, now what is chemical decomposition reaction? Chemical double decomposition reaction. Double decomposition. That means here in chemical double decomposition reaction, is a type of chemical reaction, the type of chemical reaction in which two compounds exchange their ions mutually. These are ions and radicals also. Chemical double decomposition is a type of chemical reaction in which two compounds exchange their ions mutually. Is it clear? Now, I will give an example here. Two compounds, AgNO3, silver nitrate, plus NaCl. So, both are compounds, gives rise to, that means here Ag will replace nitrogen, sodium. Sorry. So Ag will come to this place and sodium will come to this place. Now what happens here, you see now, AgCl plus sodium nitrate. Is it clear now? That means they are mutually exchanging. Silver saying I come here, sodium will come here. Okay, let us exchange mutually. So here you see chemical double displacement, decomposition, double displacement both are same. Reaction is a type of chemical reaction in which two compounds exchange their ions mutually. I give an example also here. Now the next one is redox reaction. That I am going to place here. Redox reaction. Now what is redox reaction? Redox means what? Reduction and oxidation takes place simultaneously. So redox reaction. In redox reaction, you will see what is that. What is the definition? Redox reaction is a type of chemical reaction in which reduction and oxidation takes place simultaneously. For example, here copper oxide reacts with hydrogen, gives rise to copper plus water. Copper plus water. That means here copper is losing oxygen. That means this is called reduction. What is this called? Reduction. Here hydrogen is gaining oxygen. Hydrogen is gaining oxygen. This is called oxidation. So this reaction will take simultaneously in the reaction. So this is that such type of reaction is called redox reaction. Is it clear now? Next one, we will go to precipitation reaction. Next one is precipitation reaction. In precipitation reaction is a type of chemical reaction in which barium chloride reacts with sodium sulfate, gives rise to barium sulfate plus NaCl. So let me balance this. 2Na, Cl2, Cl2, which balance. So here barium sulfate forms a precipitate in the reaction. So this reaction is called precipitation reaction. Is it clear now? The next one is neutralization reaction. What is neutralization reaction? Shall I write this now? Okay. Now neutralization reaction is a type of chemical reaction in which acid reacts with base, forms salt and water. With the help of indicator. For example, HCl plus sodium hydroxide gives rise to NaCl plus H2O. Is it clear? An acid reacts with the base in the presence of an indicator, gives rise to salt and water. Is it clear now? Now this completes your types of chemical reaction. Here in this we come across another two, which is corrosion and rancidity. Corrosion and rancidity. Corrosion is what? Corroding. Iron gets corroded, gets rusted. The presence of moisture and air. That means it requires, for this rusting, it requires water vapor and oxygen. Oxygen or air, water vapor. Okay, so it forms a rust. This is called rusting. So it rusts, iron rust. Correct? Why it rusts? Because it's getting reacted to water vapor and oxygen. This is the condition there. So corrosion is happening. Now What is rancidity? Rancidity is nothing but oxidation takes place in oil and lipids. Oil and lipids get rancid. Yes. Okay, oils and lipids. Oils and lipids. Here you can observe the rancidity. That means even the oil and lipids get oxidized and form rancid. This is called rancidity. That is what you see. Potato chips are puffed with nitrogen gas. Potato chips are puffed with nitrogen gas. So nitrogen gas is a non-reactive gas. Okay, non-reactive gas. So it keeps your potato chips fresh and crispy. Is it clear? So it will not react with this. If in the same case, if the oxygen is added in that, so it get rancid soon. Is it clear? So that completes your chemical reaction and application. Thank you. Avinash, எங்கே ஸ்டாப் எடுக்குதாடா?